discuss it. Okay, so here's a continuation of the chapter that we have started, the ecosystem. Okay, so today's topic here is interactive components of the ecosystem. As I have already explained to you what is ecosystem, the definition of ecosystem. So ecosystem, it is the interaction of the living components with the non-living components in an environment. So there, I told you, I sent you a clipping also there about the living and the non-living components. The living components, they are the biotic components, and non-living components, they are known as abiotic component. So these two components make up an ecosystem. Okay, so today I'm just going to discuss about those components. In the biotic components, only the living organisms are present there. Okay, they make up an biotic components. So in there we have the plants, okay, animals and the microorganism. And on the other side, abiotic components, we have the non-living components which we need for our survival. We all dependent upon each other. So light is necessary, temperature, water, air, soil, humidity. So they are all needed for the survival of all living organisms. Okay, in an ecosystem. So biotic components are useful for abiotic components directly, indirectly, as well as these abiotic components also, they are very, very necessary. Okay, directly, indirectly, for an organism, for the survival of an environment or an ecosystem. Okay, so this makes up an ecosystem. So first let me discuss about the biotic components. First is the plants. You all know plants, directly or indirectly, they are the primary source of food for all living organisms. You all know that. We depend upon plants for food, directly or indirectly. Okay, and these plants, they are the natural purifier of this environment. You all know how. No? So plants, okay, during the process of photosynthesis, what do they give out? They give out oxygen. And that oxygen, it is utilized by animals, human beings, for us to survive. Yes or no? So that is why it is very, very important. Plant, food. Not only food, it gives us medicine, fibers, no, and also shelter for different organisms, no, like animals, birds, monkeys. If you see, where do they live? Trees, no. So this is how they are interrelated with each other. Okay, so next one is animal. Animal, they cannot prepare their own food, you know that. So we depend, animals, they depend upon food. Okay, for food, we depend upon the plants for food, you all know that. Yes, we are heterotrophs. Animals, they are heterotrophs, they cannot prepare. Okay, so but animals also, they give out carbon dioxide, they release out carbon dioxide, which is utilized by the plant. So there is an exchange. Animals, human being, we give them carbon dioxide, and in return they give us oxygen. So they are interacting with each other. And microorganism, you see, these germs, we are talking about microorganism, bacteria, fungus, no, they all, viruses, pathogen, they all have a definite, they have their own role. Okay, some have disadvantage, some have advantages. So in an ecosystem, let's take the advantage. So they have their advantages, they have their own roles to play in an ecosystem. So if you take bacteria, fungus and all, they help to decompose the dead and the decaying matters, organisms. Suppose in the forest and all, in the forest, if some animals, plant, they die, there is no one to take care of it. No? For human beings, they take our body, okay, some burn, some bury the body, but in forest, in jungles and all, what happens to the dead organism? So they get decomposed into the soil. So that decomposition is done with the help of microorganism. And these microorganisms, it keeps the soil fertile also. It gives the fertility of the soil, okay, by decaying all the dead organic matters. Okay, dead and the decaying matters, such that the soil gets all the nutrients for the growth of the plant in return. So these are so they are how they are dependent upon each other. Okay, not only biotic components, they are dependent upon each other, but they are dependent upon the abiotic components also. Now let's come to the abiotic components. Light. What do you think light is? Do you think with light can we live without light? No, it is impossible. Yes, the source of light energy, the main source of light energy is the sun. Okay, so light helps the plants to prepare their own food. Without light, the plants could not prepare their own food. If they cannot prepare their own food, can they grow? Can the plants grow? No. So if the plants does not grow, there are no plants around us, what would happen to the ecosystem? No? All it would be disbalanced. Yes or no? Along with that, it also, this light also, it has an very essential role for the survival of each different organism. Suppose you see camel. Take an example of camel. Camel, where do they live? In a hot area. The light intensity is more. Yes. And again, polar regions and all. The animals living there, they have less light intensity there. Yes or no? So it depends upon that also. And also, we human beings also, we get vitamin D through sunlight. So nowadays we are hearing about this because of this coronavirus. No, we need to take vitamin C is important for our health. Vitamin D also we need from sunlight. We are hearing that. So vitamin D is a nutrient that we need in our body for the proper growth. So that we get from the sunlight. So this is why it is important. Okay. The next one is temperature. So the temperature ranges from 0 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, so plants also, they survive in different ranges. Even animals, no, we survive in different ranges. Okay, so cactus and all, they cannot survive in cold places. Yes or no? The pine trees and all, can we take them and plant it in a desert? No. So it depends upon that. Okay, so animals also, if you take, okay, so your polar bear, no, what happens to them? They cannot, animals also, they cannot withstand high temperature. So, okay, so they go for sleep during that time. Lizards, reptiles and all, no, summer sleep we call it. And wintertime sleep, it is known as hibernation. Summertime, they are known as estivation. Okay, some animals, they cannot bear the heat, so they go for sleep. Okay, that is known as estivation. Some animals, they cannot tolerate very cold temperature also, so they go for winter sleep. Yes or no? So it depends upon that. Okay, so temperature, it helps in the process of photosynthesis also. Okay, so it helps in the process of transpiration also. Okay, so it depends upon that, everything. Next one is your water. Water is very important for both plants and animals for us to survive. Yes or no? So water plays an important role in the climatic changes that occur around us. Yes, and also for the production of, it also helps in the production of food. Okay, for the plants during photosynthesis, they require water for the process of photosynthesis. If photosynthesis occurs, oxygen is liberated out. Yes or no? Then along with that, in our body, if we see water, it is responsible for the circulation of the blood also, circulation of the digestion of our food also. So it is important for both plants and animals. This is how it helps us. Okay, we are depending upon water for these reasons. Then comes air. So air also same thing. Air is an medium, important medium for the processes like dispersal of seed, fruits, no, during the process of pollination. Yes, and also this is an important medium for organisms like birds and all, no, medium of locomotion. No air, do you think the birds could fly? No. So for the survival, for the movement on, air is necessary. Yes, and so along with that, air also has an important role for the controlling the temperature, controlling the heat in the earth. Okay, so daytime what happens, the sun rays, they are trapped by the air. Okay, so it does not allow the extreme, it absorbs the heat. Okay, it allows only some amount of heat such that we can survive in that. Okay, so it does not allow all the extreme heat to pass through it. Okay, so it absorbs the extreme heat there. And during in the night time, it is not too cold also because it has trapped the heat. Okay, so that heat is utilized to keep the temperature of day and night also moderate such that we can survive. So that is why it is also very, very important, air. Okay, then soil, you all know it is very, very important for both plants and animals also. Soil for, okay, then soil, you all know it is very, very important for both plants and animals also. Soil for plants, if you see, we get all the nutrients from it. Yes, if they get all the nutrients, the plant will grow well and survive well. Yes or no? They will be healthy also. And also along with that, not only plants, even animals also, they depend upon soil. Because if you see animals, you know, they live in the ground floors, the insects, the bugs, earthworms and all, where do they live? In the soil. Yes or no? So they act as a shelter for the floating animals, we can call it. Okay. Then another one is, we also get minerals, no? Soil minerals from the soil itself. Okay. Okay, now next one is, the last one is humidity. Humidity, it is referred to as the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. So we say that more the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, more will be the humidity. So humidity increases. The more the humidity, more will be the evaporation of the water. Okay, from the different surfaces like plants and animals. In plants, if humidity is high, what happens? There's more loss of water in the form of water. Okay, in the form of water vapor, and that process is known as transpiration. And in animals and in humans, we call it, if humidity is high, what happens? We feel hot. So what happens to us? There is loss of water from our body also, and we call it sweating. Yes or no? So the more the rate of humidity will also increase the rate of transpiration in plants and evaporation or sweating in animals. Alright, so this is what we needed to discuss. So I've discussed the two components that react with each other in an ecosystem. So this is how we are dependent upon each other. So all biotic components, okay, they have to interact with the biotic components or vice versa in order to survive, okay, in an ecosystem. Alright, so hope you have understood. If you have any doubts, we can have a contact in the group. Okay, we can have a chat in the group to clarify your doubts. If you have any things, clarification more you need. Alright, so yeah, thank you so much.